Hello, everyone. Welcome to JumpCloud's IT Hour. Very excited to be here. My name is Joanna Ng. I'm the excuse me, Principal Product Marketing Manager at JumpCloud, and here with me I have Rob McGrath, Senior Product Manager. Rob, do you want to say hi to the group here?
Well, hi guys, how are you doing today? Glad to be here to talk to you more about some JumpCloud features.
It's awesome. So we do have a really nice agenda today to share with you. Just to give you guys a glimpse, Rob will actually demo our AI and reporting capabilities. So feel free to ask questions in the chat, and he'll get to those questions at the end of our session. And then I'm going to share some of our JumpCloud IT trend reports. Just came out this week, so there's some very cool highlights to actually talk to you. And then, of course, we'll end it with some other announcement that we have here that will benefit you guys. So without further ado, actually, I'm going to pass the screen to Rob, who will demo his products.
Cool. I'm going to go ahead and do the old switcheroo. And today I'm going to be showing you guys some exciting new features that came out there. The reporting, which is now officially GA as of the end of last month, and our AI feature, which is in public preview and it's being rolled out to 100% of our customers over the next couple weeks, basically. So, first off, reporting. Obviously, I've been on here a couple times to show you kind of early, like little checkpoints of what's going on. But now that we're officially out, you will be able to see this in your admin portal, and this has been a very big, highly requested feature. So I'm going to show you guys some of the new features of reporting. So first off, you'll see that there's a completely new UI. Like there's no longer the little button there with a drop down to show you how many reports you can run. You click on them and it just gives you the option to download it and it generates it. You can download it at a later time. We completely revamped this, not only with a new UI, but also you'll see this much longer list. This could grow over time as we have additional capabilities and a little opportunity for me to throw in the little idea request. If you do have an idea, put that button right there. I do this every single time to talk to any customers or any public people. Do that submit an idea button because that could impact this feature. So you could request a report and we could take a look at it and say, hey, you know what? We need to add this in there. So for instance, I'm going to pick one of these reports here. I'll do device inventory. And as you can see, this is a nice little preview of some of the data. And this, I only have 19 devices in here. If you have a lot more than this does get limited to 500 rows. This is intended to be a preview of your data, not absolutely everything in there, because some of these reports can be millions of rows depending on what you and put in there for options in there. So we've added a couple options here. In addition to the fact that this is a UI where I can actually view all of this data and I can view it without having to download anything, I can add additional data as well. So for instance, in this case, since it's a device report, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some device related fields. So I'm just going to, let's add everything under the sun for devices and just click apply. Now I have all those additional fields. I don't have to download. Like what had previously happened with reports is we had reports from customers that were coming in. They're saying, hey, I have to download the report from the report section, the device list export, and some other report somewhere else. And then they'd have to combine all of them into Excel, do some magic to remove data, concatenate items, and all that stuff. And it just was not fun. So with this, you can come in here, you can customize it. And in addition to being able to edit columns, let's say I want to add a filter and I can say I only want to see items that are, actually encrypted, for instance. Now, this is a demo environment. So I actually do have some. Cool. I was expecting none to be encrypted, but that's very nice to have. So that was a very easy way to run this report, apply some filters without having to do this manually later on. And now I have a couple actions, obviously. You can download it, or there's this new button of saving as new. So I can say super duper awesome, sick, wicked, cool report. And that way, every time I need to work with whoever needs this report in the future, I can come back to that report and pick up exactly where I left off. So in addition to, being able to customize them, I can come back, revisit it again. I see who made that report and I can download it again and move on from there. So this is a very big deal, a very big change to our reports. And I will say, if you go off and test this, which I highly recommend you do in your environments, is if they do take a long time, because some of these reports, again, can be millions and millions and millions of rows. What it will be is it'll time out after a couple seconds and say, hey, you know what? We just sent a link to your email. You'll get a link to download the report if it's a ginormous file, because they are quite big sometimes, especially things that have like software inventory report. This will spit out every single app on every single device of yours. So get ready for a lot of CSV fun from that. But what's in addition to that, we have also introduced this new feature, which was a combination of several aspects of like the things that we're working in JumpCloud. So about a year ago, we had introduced a beta for JumpCloud AI, and what this did was it converted natural language queries into a SQL query against a database that we had. So it was a nice beta because it really wasn't like officially using all of the JumpCloud data and the JumpCloud APIs. But with the advent of reporting and now our new search API that's powering our reporting system, this is the opportunity to actually do something similar to that. Since the new reporting platform has it's an actual database experience. So you can, if I tweak the columns, if I switch column 1 with column 2, it does change how the query works. It updates how the filters work. You can really do some cool things with the data in reporting. Because of that, we realized, hey, we could use the AI experience that we had last year, combine it with the new search API, and bring out a new feature. So that's with this search with this JumpCloud AI search allows you to put in natural language in here and see how it would go. I highly recommend just throw queries at it, see if it works, see if it doesn't work. There will be things it cannot do, and it really is focused on a handful of things that we know are going to be helpful for you. So, for instance, if I want to see a list of devices, like let's say I want to see my Windows 11 devices, let's hope the demo gods are nice to me. Yep, they're good today. So basically, when I do this query, it had done this without me having to manually do that. So, like for instance, if I was to run this query, that's a very simple one. Like I just go to operating system and say, okay, show me a list of Windows 11 devices. As you can see, Windows 11 is not the easiest thing to filter on because their versions, I don't know why Microsoft decided to not do 11.0. They just did 10.0 insane number of or string of numbers. They made it a little bit difficult for you to filter on. And so let's say like a little more complicated of a query, like show me devices that are with outdated operating systems. This kind of query would normally take, yep, I knew I would flirt with the demo gods way too much. So let me try it again. I'll just run it again. With that query, yeah, I knew the data would be right there. So this query would take normally, if I was to run this query against Mac OS, then I'd have to run it against Linux, and I'd have to run it against Windows. I'd have to know which version was their oldest or the most recent version, and then make that the not filter. So I'd have to filter it not that version. So everything else would eventually pop up. That kind of experience would take, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes oftentimes. And that, as you saw, took 2 seconds. And yeah, even though I'm like my query first failed, I ran it again, it did it, and it ran perfectly fine. Even with the hiccup, it still took me 5 seconds, which is a very, very nice addition to that. And what this is doing is when you dropped in that natural language query, I can throw in, any number of queries. Like this is not the only kind. So for instance, if I want to say, I ran this query before as well. Like how do I set up OIDC with a self-hosted website? This is not something that's directly baked into our help center articles, but we trained the AI to go through our help center and support center articles and came up with a solution based on that as well. So you can ask it not direct questions that really wouldn't be pulled directly from a document, and it's able to spit this back out to you. And you can also do full text search. We've introduced full text search to the platform. So if I type in just Rob or Jorana or something like that, it will show just individual results for that. And what this is doing is it's taking the query that I had just put in, which is just natural language, fires that off to Gemini, and Gemini has been taught how to navigate our search API, and then it spits back a query that our search API understands. So it's not like the AI is, okay, give me a list of all my devices. The AI itself is not combing through your entire tenant to see which devices are which and then spitting it back to you. If you've ever messed with MCP, it's very much this is not MCP at all, where this is just spitting back the query language that our systems understand, and the only data that actually goes to the AI at all is the query that you put in there. So if you put in, Rob, that will be the only bit that goes to Gemini, not Rob McGrath with my email and my address and my phone number. Like nothing else goes out there, which is very nice. This is kind of the best of both worlds. We let the AI do what it's really good at, which is understanding human language, and avoid it doing what it's not so great at, which is combing through tons and tons and tons of data and going it sequentially over and over and over and over and over again and returning something back accurately, consistently. That's not always the best experience out there, at least at this point in time. So very cool feature, very exciting thing. If you're interested in being part of this and it's not available for your organization, absolutely just feel free to talk to your account manager or anything like that. And also, most importantly, there are organizations that are simply not allowed to use AI out there. I definitely know that's out there. So if you were curious, you can absolutely turn this off. It is off by default. So if you were to do this and then just turn this off and click save, my search results now will be limited to navigating search pages. As you know, as you saw, I just changed from search to just standard, change from search with AI to just standard search. So now I can just run normal searches, go back to what that Command K slash like that go to navigation window was, where you type in something and it just popped up with a little window right there with Command K. That it returned it back to the original search experience. So if you're not allowed to use AI, or if you really have to get some kind of, for some compliance reasons you're not allowed to, absolutely feel free to toggle it off. Highly recommended though, because this is a cool feature that really doesn't put out a lot of data at all to Gemini. It's very lean and mean. So super exciting. This is just the beginning. This is where, obviously learning and working to develop even more AI powered features. But we figured that this was an awesome opportunity to combine some low hanging fruit that we saw and get it to you guys to see how you guys would use it. So that's my spiel on reporting and search with AI. Back to you, Jordan.
Thank you, Rob. That was awesome. And I tell you, I'm not someone who is, big on generating report, but every time Rob demo reporting, it just make me want to play with it. So I hope you guys have been trying it out, and then give us feedback if you like it, and what we can improve on. And of course, right, AI is big in every company right now. So it's worth try just playing with our JumpCloud AI features. Um, so with that, let me go back to my screen again, and we're going to talk about the IT Trends Q3 2025 reports. So for those who are not familiar with this IT Trend reports, we actually do this on a quarterly basis, and usually we reach out to IT professionals and leaders in the US and UK just to get insights on them. And I usually love looking at all this report just to get nuggets and to see what is out there that touches, IT leaders, admins, professionals, thoughts and ideas, and if there's any surprises that I should be aware of. So for this report, actually very interestingly, we are focusing a lot on AI, and of course, some of the questions that we ask all the IT professionals might surprise you or might not surprise you. So let's move on with it. So one of the questions that we asked was like, what have been your top security concern, right, in 2025? I believe this question we asked almost every single time. And almost every single time, there's always a concern, right? There's nobody who say, no, I'm all good, right? So in for this report itself, right, you see that actually 56% of those respondents actually say AI-driven threats is very near to them, right? And of course, identity and devices. So for me, when I look at the numbers again, it's like, oh, a lot of them has to do with human elements, right? Like you're more concerned with who is touching your devices, who is out there using the identity stuff, and who is actually using AI within your company that you might have no control of or are not aware of in terms of the security aspects. So so again, this is top of mind. Let me know in the chat if you guys have the same concern. Then of course the other stuff, on the right, like ransomware compliance, etc., is more of the back end itself. So that's pretty interesting. And then again, when we ask, right, what is the approach that that they take, or the IT admin and professional leaders are taking, it's like 48% are focused on a very focused approach, meaning they only focus on one area like identity, perimeter, or just device centric. And then there's 39% of them are doing a hybrid approach, which again, I'm a little surprised because, you would think that in this day and age, like a lot of companies have so many tools, and especially if you're on JumpCloud platform, you can do all this, right? So I was hoping that those numbers were a little higher, but apparently not. But what really surprised me when I look at this chart is that only 11% of the respondents say they actually use a zero trust architecture. Again, I was surprised because that number is, to me, is really low. I don't know if you guys here are already using any zero trust capabilities, but it's been out for like quite a few years. a lot of companies, vendors, our competitors, we all talk about zero trust, right? So I'm just very surprised, again, that only about 11% actually adopt that. So if you have any like insight on why you are not using zero trust, I would be happy to hear about them. So feel free to put that in the chat. And then again, like I said, a lot of AI adoption and risk focus. When we ask this question, right, do companies have any plans to adopt AI? Last year, in Q1, 13% of them say no, it's not, we're not planning to do anything yet. We might wait and see, or we don't know where we are with our AI plans, right? But come today, right, by the time we are in Q3 2025, less than 1% actually say, oh, we have already adopted or plan to adopt AI in our company. And then some of the key risks that they actually pointed out is 51% actually say that they have concern with AI integrating with some of their sensitive system like CRM or their directory, right? And then 45% actually is worried that it might be misused by the employees or staff. And then another 42% also talk about there's really lack of identity governance, especially when it comes to non-human actors, right? So only 23% of the organization surveyed was actually actively managing non-human identities. So non-human identities is something that a lot of companies are very concerned on, and I know that many people are not very familiar with it, and they might feel like, okay, let's just wait and see what's out there. But I think at the end of the day, a lot of times, right, when it comes to security, you always need to have some kind of centralization and control. There needs to be monitoring and stuff like that, right? So keep that in mind if you are thinking about putting in AI in any of your company stuff. So like I said, where Rob already demo on JumpCloud AI, that would be a really good avenue to try it because we already tested it, and we are in terms of the security risk and threat out there, we already take those into consideration. So it's really worth giving it a try. And then, this is also another very interesting stats, when we asked about use cases, right? A lot of them said that they use AI to actually help them with their help desk and chatbot, which today there's so many tools that's out there can automate your help desk requests. So that's not really a big surprise there. Security threat detecting in terms of phishing, that they are using that AI to help them with that. And then also like predictive maintenance when it comes to automating any of their maintenance for maybe their software and hardware. So that's the thing. And then on the average number of AI being used is actually around 3.2. So again, if you are like, if you want to share some of your nuggets on, the AI tools that you're using today or the use cases, feel free to put in the chat. And then when we look at the macroeconomics, right, a lot of things that's happening out in the world do impact companies, and of course, in turns, impact the IT team. So, like terrorists, we talk about, or we hear about it in the news like practically every day this year. So that actually have a huge impact on a lot of companies, especially IT admin. They said that, they're worried about hardware and software in terms of scarcity or pricing, right? And then all the regulation that's going out there again will impact them. And then also like political instability is another thing that that everyone is concerned of, because if you are working in a global setting, you want to make sure that everybody is safe and there's no disruption to your company productivity. But all in all, when you look at the stats here, the US and the UK IT leaders do report very similar identical concern, right? So again, like all these IT challenges is actually very universal. It doesn't just happen in the US or UK or APAC or EMEA, but actually in this day and age, if you see it in one country, it might, be the similar situation in another country. So with that, I'm just going to leave the QR code here for you if you're interested in download this report. I just only pick up nuggets and highlights that I think you guys should take a look at it. But the report itself actually give you a lot of insight. So do give a read when you have the time, and then provide us any feedback if you have. If there's any interest again that you want to know more areas of concern, that would be a good time to give us your feedback too. And with that, I want to go through some other announcement that we have actually at JumpCloud. So sneak peek, what's in private preview right now. We have two access requests and asset management. If you join us in our recent Q3 product roadmap, you've probably seen this being demoed and talked about. So both of these products is going to be out in general availability pretty soon. I would say sometime next month, especially for asset requests. We are already in full private preview, and that is something that will actually help you automate your end user requests and streamline your whole process when it comes to access requests. And asset management, again, is a very exciting solution that we have that will be brand new that actually help you to manage and track all your asset as IT assets in your JumpCloud console. So this is something that people has been asking for quite a while, and even in our survey, it has a lot of traction. So I would invite you guys to try out the private preview if you have not already done so. You can check out with your account manager to see how you can get on, or you can simply wait for a couple of weeks where it goes GA. And with that, I also want to let you guys know that IT Hour, we're going to give it a new name the next time that you come on this platform. It will be called the Deep Dive. So some things are changing, but some we are keeping it the same because things are always evolving, right? So what we're going to try now next is that it's going to be on a monthly basis, probably on a Friday, and it'll be about 30 to 40 minutes. So we're trying to give you a more focused look at all your IT challenges, talk about a lot of new features that we're working on, and we want it to be more interactive. So it will be an open forum for all your questions and your feedback, not just on JumpCloud, but also anything that's out there in the industry that's top of mind for you, right? And then we also will talk about all our latest releases, again, demoing new features and benefits that we're calling. So somewhat similar to what we have. The main thing is that we're changing the name. So don't get shocked the next time you join us and you're still in the same place. It's going to be called the Deep Dive. So with that, I'm just going to go back to our Q&A if there's anything that's out there that you guys want to bring to our attention. All right, and I think Renata also put in the link that you can register. So yeah, you do have to register for the deep dive, basically because the URL to that platform is going to change, right, from the IT hour. So do so today if you have not. But of course, we will send you a reminder that the name will be changed. So any questions that you guys have that Rob and I can help you answer? Silence. Which is very surprising. I mean, I remember the IT hour in the past that you guys has a lot to talk about, but maybe it's lunchtime or it's end of the Friday, so you guys are a little quiet. But that's fine. We're always here, so we're at Slack Lounge too. We're always at email, and also you can always reach out to your AM if you guys have any concern. I think we finished up our Q3 product roadmap a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday we have a webinar on privileged access management. Go see that, which is something that you I think would be very interesting for all of you to know if you are interested about PAM. Yeah, Ellie, you missed most of this, which is a bummer. Yeah, anyway, there's a recording, Ellie, that you can feel free to rewatch since you missed most of it. Yes, Rob. Yeah, please send your question, good and bad. There's no, awkward question. We want question, right? Because we want to make sure that we answer all or cover all areas, and give you guys a product that everyone can use. So Rob is
Yeah,
game. Give him all the hard questions.
I just a heads up. If you do when you do the queries, if they work or don't work, do the thumbs up and thumbs down. We do track that. So if it's something that comes in and it gave you wildly wrong results, or if it says something went wrong, it can happen for a number of reasons. One, like the AI may misunderstand because it is AI and it's not perfect every time. There's a level of fuzziness with it. It may not have understood your query, so maybe tweak a word or two. And if that doesn't work, it still keeps coming back. Like the data may not exist because it is the same data that comes from reporting. So it's if you can run a report on it, you can run an AI query on it. But if it doesn't work, do thumbs up or thumbs down and let us know, and we'll take a look at the query because we will see exactly what had failed. And yeah, like our systems are able to handle that. So, but cool, definitely let us know. And excited to
Yeah.
see you guys take it and try to break it and do all those things.
Yeah, and Rob is our AI guy here, right? So if there's any use cases, if there's anything that you think is worth for him to take a look at it, feel free to let us know too, because we're always expanding our capabilities, right? Especially with AI, now that it's new, but we want to make sure that whatever again that we deliver would be something that everyone can use. Anything else? All right. So I think since we are good, I will give everybody back the 3 minutes. Again, do download the IT trend report to take a look at it, give us any feedback, and then share insights if you have them. And then tingle with reporting, which I might play with after this today, Rob, after looking at demo again. And also play with our AI features, and watch out for the new capabilities on access requests and asset management that is coming. So, like Chris say, have a great weekend, and we hope to see you again at the deep dive the next time. All right, with that, thanks everyone, and have a great day.